What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Today we're going to be doing a water pump replacement on a 2016 Ford Fusion 2.5 liter. Alright, so here it is. The first thing we want to do is get this engine cover removed. We'll set that to the side. Then we're going to use, I believe, a 14 millimeter right here on this tensioner. We're going to get the belt off. But before we do that, we're going to take a 10 millimeter and we're going to remove these 3 bolts. Alright guys, I got my screwdriver put through the hole of that pulley there just so it doesn't move. And then I went down in there with a 10 millimeter wrench, loosened them all up. Now I'm going to take my screwdriver back out if I can. And then I'm going to use a ratchet wrench to remove it the rest of the way. So once we got the tensioner pushed towards the firewall, you can slide the belt off the back side of the water pump and just pull it forward. And this belt doesn't really look too bad to me, and I believe the customer is only interested in replacing the belt if it is in fact bad. So we're going to go ahead and get this excuse me, we're going to get this last bolt out, and then we'll get the pulley off, and then we'll start removing the rest of the water pump. Oh gosh, this thing's falling off already. There we go. Pulley. Last bolt. Everything right there. Now we got 8 millimeter bolts to take out, and we got to put a drain pan underneath. I might be mistaken. I guess we'll find out in just a moment, but I believe there's only 3 bolts that holds this thing on there. So we'll start out with this front one here. Oh, maybe if I can get my ratchet on the loosen setting. Okay, and maybe that'll just come out of there. Okay. Then we will take off this top one. That should come out by hand. Not quite. Okay. Now we just got to get at that last one. Alright, looks like I was wrong. There's actually like 4 bolts on here. One of them's kind of right here where I'm twisting, and the other one is directly below it. Unless I took a bolt out of something that I wasn't supposed to, but I guess we'll find out in a second. You can also look at the water pump that you have that's new, but I'm pretty sure that there's 4 bolts on here. So this here is going to be that upper one in the back. And we'll take this other lower one in the back out. Right there. Then we can get us a pry bar or something right between here and here, and we'll pry this off. Right, and this is what it looks like once you get it out. That extra bolt that I had was right here. It's the timing cover bolt that I took out, so we'll put that back in. Also, ended up snapping one of the ears off of the water pump trying to pry it out. This thing goes deep in there, guys, so may have a little bit of difficulty getting it out, but I was able to get it out by just prying on it in a few different spots. Got our new O-ring on the new one. We're going to go ahead and slide it into place. Alright, and then we got the water pump in. A word of advice to anyone who's doing this job. I did go ahead and lubricate the O-ring on there with a little bit of grease, and also you want to make sure that water pump is in there all the way, fully seated, before you try to put these bolts in. You do not want to try to walk the water pump in by tightening the bolts, because you may think that a bolt is tight and then you got the water pump all cocked to the side, and then you're going to end up with a huge coolant leak. So make sure that the new water pump is completely flush with this before you start putting your bolts in, otherwise you're going to run into trouble. And like I said, lubricating it helps out a lot. Now we got our pulley back on. You pretty much just set it in place, line up one of the holes, tighten one of the bolts all the way by hand, and then the other 2 should stay lined up for you. You just want to push this up with a ratchet, and then take your belt and push it back behind the water pump pulley, and make sure that everything is straight and lined up. Your alternator as well, because that's also on the same belt. And then pretty much all finished up. We'll go ahead and put this engine cover back on. That's going to be the end of our video for today. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we're on to the next job.